Hello everyone. Today's video is about how you are deeply connected to your specific person and to everyone else around you through your dominant assumptions. So I've had so many amazing client stories and even stories of my own where crazy things have happened with a specific person and it's just so unexplainable. So we're going to dive into that today, and I really intend that it just gives you so much faith in the unseen and faith in this process of the law of assumption. So before I dive in, if you want to work with me, feel free to book a session. I do live coaching. There's heaps of different packages there, and I also have a range of 7-day challenges which dive really deep and really quick into a strong routine around manifesting. These are really amazing if you feel like you've fallen off the wagon and you need a reboot and you need to get back into it, or if you're a first timer, they're fantastic for just really saturating yourself in the daily meditations, learning about inner conversations. It's really fun and it's really peaceful. It's intended to bring you peace around the law of assumption rather than this sort of searching, wondering, anxious energy. So I intend that's really helpful. Reach out if you need. I am here. So some of the things that I have personally experienced with my specific person is them reflecting back sentences to me that I have thought about or just assumed. Some of them have been one-off sentences, some of them have been, inner conversations that I've had with my specific person ongoing. And every time it happens, and it's not just with a specific person actually, it's with family and friends too, because these people are always on my mind, my most important people. But another really crazy thing is dreams, where my specific person has messaged when they've been traveling and have said, oh my god, I've had this crazy dream about you, and I've dreamt about my specific person a couple of days prior and not said anything, and I've said, oh, what was the dream, tell me the dream, and they've told me the dream and it was the exact same dream that I had. So you're so deeply connected to your specific person all the time, and it is a daily practice of when we're waking up, that's a really important time, or when we're drifting off into sleep, going into the theta stage. These are really important times of the day where we're still really connected with that part of our brain and body, where we don't have the resistance coming in. So I'll talk about conscious and subconscious in a moment, but what we really want to cultivate is these daily beautiful inner conversations with our specific person, because they're listening, they're hearing you, they are you pushed out. So, and it doesn't matter if you have, some doubts and fears, and if these come up in inner conversation with your person, what you really want to do is have your specific person in inner conversations calm you and reassure you and let you know that you're the only one for them, that everything is okay, you can't mess it up, that you're meant for each other, that it's just so peaceful and balanced and, passionate and romantic and all of those wonderful things. But I think most importantly that you're safe. This is a safe relationship. It's special, it's sacred, it's just between the two of you. This is your person, you are each other's persons, you're their specific person, So this is where inner conversations can be so powerful, but it is just a reminder that you're constantly connected, even when you're not awake, sometimes even more so when you're not awake. So let's dive into the conscious and the subconscious. So with our brain, when we are in our conscious awareness, like I am right now in this video, and as you are watching it, we're only essentially 5% tapped into our brain and into our programming. Our programming and our systems are what is running behind the scenes, which is the subconscious. So we're only 5% tapped into that when we're awake. When we're awake in our conscious mind, we have a lot of stories going on and a lot of conditioning going on that is not necessarily our own. So usually from when we're a baby up to the age of 7, we are not consciously aware and making our own deep dive decisions. We're not consciously aware of who we are and what we desire and how we fit into the world. We are in a magical state. We are in such a magical state. This is where children, are so encouraged and thrive in imagination and creativity, because we're not in that stage yet of social norms, social expectations. Maybe a little bit coming up to 6 and 7 with behavior. But in terms of thinking for ourselves, we're not tapped in. So what is happening from 0 to 7 is we are absorbing everybody else's stories and behaviors and information and essentially conditioning. So for example, if you are someone that has grown up in a very traumatic household with all sorts of different sorts of trauma and experiences, this was not meant for you. These are not who you are as a person. This is how you've been conditioned through these experiences and stories by others. So there is a bit of a saying that we spend our second half of our life trying to untangle our first half of our life. And this is, very particular to counseling, psychotherapy, and psychology. A lot of the work in these fields are understanding why we do what we do now as adults as a result of our childhood. So with the law of assumption, it is still very in alignment with this, because we're not actively choosing our own beliefs and our thoughts and our decisions and even sometimes our feelings from 0 to 7. We are taking on all the conditioning around us from our caregivers, from, generally other adults around us, but it can be other children, it can be when we're in school, it can be from teachers. So I want you to really look at the first 7 years of your life and really investigate, okay, what were the assumptions and conditions and stories that were being projected onto me as a child? So for me, I did have a lot of trauma in my childhood. I was also told many things, men aren't safe, it's not safe for you to do this, don't do that, if you do that, this will happen, a lot of conditioning, a lot of fear and control. And I do come across a lot of clients as well who have experienced, elements of fear and control through religion. Not always, but again, if you are conditioned to be religious at a very young age, before you're able to even think and decide and choose for yourself, it can cause some of those, bypass emotions, such as fear, feeling like there's this guilt. Guilt, shame, fear often come up a lot with clients who have gone through religion throughout their life. And I'm not against religion in any way. I think that everyone should do what feels right for them. My mum's side of the family was raised very strict Irish Catholic. My dad's side of the family was raised very strict Muslim. And both taught me about both, but both parents said you can decide for yourself what you want to believe in. And I think that is the most important thing. What do you want to believe in? What do you think is important? What do you think is meaningful for you? So nothing is wrong, it is just all different, and it is what feels right for you. So, there are many religious people who also follow law of assumption. They're just doing it in a different way through religion. So however you get there, it's really about connecting with your consciousness and your subconsciousness and understanding those two parts. So consciousness, when we're awake, from 0 to 7, this has a really, ages 0 to 7, really big impact on our beliefs, who we are, what we expect, what we feel we deserve. Beyond that, we're also through stages of conditioning, but we're also becoming more aware and self-aware. And this is where we start to ask questions and explore, which is really important. So what I find with the law of assumption in our conscious mind is we can often have resistance to creating new assumptions and beliefs because of this conditioning that's been going on for such a long time. When we step into our subconscious mind, this is 95% of our brain. 95%. That is huge. So this is usually when we're in the theta stage, when we're drifting off to sleep, and we put overnight sleep tapes on or affirmations, things like this. This is impressing our subconscious mind, 95% of our brain, without any resistance, because we're not consciously awake to fight it. So there's no resistance in the subconscious mind. Isn't that amazing? Like, isn't that just so amazing? I love science. So if you really feel that you struggle in your everyday 5% conscious awakening experience, where you're like, I'm really struggling to believe that my specific person loves me because of A, B, and C. Overnight sleep tapes can be incredible for you. They can really start to reprogram your old programming. And the more you do this, the more it takes over and creates a new program. So I would really recommend this, and I do recommend this for clients who have a lot of resistance in the conscious waking 5% mind. It's just like a backup USB disk, but the main one running the computer, the main one running you and your mind. I really intend that this makes sense. So what we want to be doing essentially in our conscious waking day, where we're tapped into 5% of our brain, is we want to start gently assuming better for ourselves. We want to start gently assuming, okay, is it possible that I do deserve unconditional love? Is it possible that I don't need to prove myself in order to have love? Is it possible that I am actually not my conditioning, that I am actually this person who is loving, kind, generous, fun, peaceful, determined, passionate? You know, who are you separate to all this conditioning that's been going on? I think that is a really important aspect of ourselves to explore. Who are you if you didn't have all these stories dumped on you or experiences dumped on you between 0 and 7? You know, and this is where we can talk about revision, which will be another video, but this is where revision can really come in handy. You know, really start to rewrite your life from 0 to 7. Like, what was your life like then? You know, who are you? What experiences did you have? You know, revision is a very powerful tool. But this is what we want to be doing in our everyday waking conscious mind. We want to start exploring, you know, who you are, what you expect, deserve, what you want to experience. Dive deep into that. And then we start doing repetition in our conscious waking 5% brain. And then this starts to reprogram the 95% through repetition. Repetition is amazing because a belief is only a thought that you've had on repetition, you know? And I'll say that again slowly. A belief is only because of a thought that we've had on repetition. So explore that. Explore what that means through your life. So the really cool part is we can change this. We can change your assumptions and beliefs based on changing your thoughts through repetition. So 2 really cool things we could do here. Work with the law of assumption and repetition, reprogramming in our conscious daily awakened life, and then doing that in our unconscious, subconscious sleeping state. So if you feel that you're someone that has a lot of resistance during the day, I want you to just start really gently exploring who you are and what you feel you deserve and what kind of life you want to have and the experiences that you want to have now, internally and externally, 4D and in the 3D. And then I highly recommend overnight sleep tapes meditation in this theta state, because there is no resistance going on there. The brain just goes, yep, I'll take it in. I'll take it in. It doesn't say, oh, hang on, no, I don't believe that because I have that experience and that contradicts. It just doesn't. It just takes the information in. It just absorbs it and it goes, yeah, new program. So really cool. So two good ways to start really working with your brain. I'll do another video on working in the heart space, but today was really about the brain and connecting with your specific person in this way, in our conscious mind and in our subconscious mind, because you are connected through both at all times. What we want to do is just start lowering our resistance. I really intend that video helped you, because there were a lot of roundabout ways there, and I have so many ideas and lots of topics for videos that come up, because it is very fascinating. But I intend to try and make things as simplified as possible. Let me know if you have any questions, feelings, thoughts, ideas. Feel free to leave a comment, and I'm here if you would like to explore any of this further in a one-on-one live session. Thank you and have a beautiful day.